Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. HarlequinCoHO here, and I just want to say that, man, I am thrilled to be back. I had a great Christmas and New Year's Eve kind of break and that sort of thing. I went to a big fat LAN party with a bunch of friends. I took a nice, well-deserved vacation, and then I built a brand new rig, which is what we're seeing here today. So first up, make sure you click your little HD button down below, because all HarlequinCoHO videos will now be available in 1080p resolution, high def awesomeness, and I'm thrilled to say that's going to be really cool. New rig is up. Everything's looking pretty good here. I'm still not too sure about this mic, but I'm going to play around with the audio a little bit more. But this first replay here is just going to be kind of a welcome back, kind of brushing the rust off of myself and testing the rig out and making sure HD looks really good. So for anyone interested, by the way, I'll also preempt that question and put up a link to the hardware profile for this new machine that I'm running on here. But anyhow, let the games begin. Let's take a look around the map and see what we got here. This is a nice little 2v2 on the map, Rails and Metal. If you're not familiar with that, let me just take a look around the map first off and just show you this map. We've got 3 capture points right in the center and 2 players on the bottom, 2 players on the top. And of noteworthy importance here is some of these buildings here are really annoying. This building here tends to provide great cover, covering this area. These buildings here can be very annoying, and there's a wonderful little fighting kind of open clearing up here, another building up there that kind of gets involved sometimes. But anyhow, let's take a look around the map and see what we got going on. I'm going to get this replay started here. So first up in the top hand side, we've got Malok3n, who's basically, he's unknown to me. He's a solid player, kind of a top player, but I don't really know a lot about him. He is the armor player up there. I'm going to take a look at real quick at his abilities. You can see he's got basically a completely standard armor profile. If you've heard any of my comments on armor players before, or even my tutorial on armor players, he's got exactly that layout here. His ally to the south of him is going to be Leah. I'm going to say Laya. Why not? Laya is going to be our airborne commander with airdrop smoke, reconnaissance, strafing run, AT guns, and supply drops. This player is in the top 50 for 2v2, I believe. I just looked him up real quick. In the bottom here, we've got Stahlstrom. You've certainly heard of him before. He's a top 30-ish player here for the Blitzkrieg. You can see he's got infantry pillage, flares, rocket barrage, assault reinforcements, and heavy armor support. And below him is his ally, Maakay. I see these two playing all the time. I know they are an arranged team as well. Maakay is going to be terror commander. I believe he is in the, I think he's like top 15, 16-ish. For 2 versus 2 actually, because he's been in several of my 3v3 and 4v4 replays. So let's get this started and watch what's going on out here. First off, everybody's just kind of moving out, capping their various points. I'll take a look at the map just to give you an idea where they've gone. The first thing that caught my eye about this replay was I really liked some of the action that went on down here on this side of the map. The middle is usually kind of a free-for-all. There's really no good cover here, so you kind of have to just kind of fight for it the hard way. Down south, you've got all these interesting bunkers and buildings and already existing fences and things like that. So what we see right away here is that Maakay tries to take as much advantage of that as he can. You can see the construction pioneers using their little sprint ability to get ahead nice and quick, and you can see he's already got a plan. This is very clever, and I wanted to take a moment to just kind of look at this opening move here. You can see he gets it just in time because Laya, I forget what I said I was going to call him. I guess I'll call him Leah since that's what I said instinctively, as coming down here with his rifleman. You can see what he's doing here is he's just using this natural fence here to just completely cut off access, and meanwhile also cutting off this side of the bunker. Now, you might wonder why would you cut off this side of the sandbags and that sort of thing. You'll notice just barely trying to cap this point, but it looks like he's taking too much fire there. He doesn't want to stand for it, so he runs away, finishes the wall with this little bit here. And you can see with an HMG team here, basically, he completely cuts off access to this area. Anyone coming in can't run and take cover here, and it's just a brilliant little move there. I don't want to skip entirely this side of the map. You can see that Bargain Volksgrenadier is out here for Stahlstrom, but he immediately runs into a bunch of engineers as well as Wilson's rifleman with the beloved Bazooka Joe. Bazooka Joe going to likely blow up a tree or something, firing point blank into these gentlemen. Yes! Just digs a hole in the ground with that bazooka. Looking good, Bazooka Joe. You keep that up. But meanwhile, we've got some really mean firefighting action here going over this side. So the defensive maneuvers here by Maakay look like they kind of prevented capture for the time being, but meanwhile, just a lot of heavy firepower here. Both players as airborne and armor. Armor players tend to just go mass riflemen. Airborne players tend to go mass riflemen. So we're going to certainly have a ton of upgraded riflemen early on. You can see good use of repair engineers here, basically repairing back this skill jeep. Only level 1 skill jeep, but that's cool. No problems there. Meanwhile, this HMG team here is just providing a little bit of support fire. It's pretty good. It's a really nice placement here. It was just unfortunate that he wasn't able to cap that point. So for the time being, I think I'm going to go ahead and swap on over to Leah just to give us a little bit of perspective on the allies here, because a lot of real good pushing coming up here by the allies. You can see these advanced defense engineers pulling back a little bit. Meanwhile, Wilson's riflemen are just really laying into these guys along with these normal riflemen here. You can see capping very aggressively whenever possible. If you see people retreating away from you, like has just happened a lot in Mass up here, he's making sure that he's just going to cap this point. Now, one pointer, by the way, is notice that being in the street, all these guys have red cover, which is really bad exposed cover. Just move up a little bit further and take that yellow cover. So right now we can see that these close combat Volksgrenadiers are giving sight of this building here for the heavy machine gun team, the Fatherland HMD team down there. Close combat Volks, by the way, freaking awesome at close combat. In case you're not aware, they all have these little MP40s. Fatherland HMD team has a lot of buffs, including range and sight and movement speed and stuff like that if they are in friendly territory. So close combat Volks finally securing this area. Meanwhile, the rest of the Volksgrenadiers are moving back up on this side, including a sniper. And this was really odd here, by the way. I don't know if you saw that, but that is the sixth man from this squad here. He was kind of cap walking his way all the way across the map there. It was kind of strange. Meanwhile, we have a massive firefight here. So this is what we were talking about. We got just 3 squads of riflemen and a flame engineer really putting some pressure on it. And check out this early game smoke being dropped right now, providing just a little bit of cover. And meanwhile, all of these riflemen are taking heavy cover behind this wall. And you can see that there's really not as good cover for the Volksgrenadiers. And it's strange because these guys are right in the middle of a of a propaganda, taking tons of damage. Look at the flamethrower engineers moving up on the side. Flamethrower engineers spitting fire straight into this building, getting 1 kill. And the entire close combat Volksgrenadier squad gets killed. Meanwhile, flames continuing to pour into this building. Flames do extra damage to people in building and heavy cover. And the flamethrower engineers completely take out this building. The rest of the Browning automatic rifle upgraded riflemen here for Leah are just opening fire. Look at how much damage they're doing. Even with all of his inspired zeal buffs up and all that sort of stuff, he has to retreat. And against all odds, against close combat folks and Fatherland HMG team, all of these riflemen here just stood their own. It took almost no casualties. Just amazing what a little bit of cover and a little bit of upgrades does. So tons of points there for the Allies. Meanwhile, the Allies' control on the left here is looking a little bit weak, as it is just a couple of engineers repairing this skilled Jeep once again. Note the good use of early Jeeps and just making them count. That sort of stuff is really nice. But now, finally, these riflemen have to come all the way in here and cap this point. But notice how effective it is having these kind of retreat barriers. Because if you're able to come back up here, and I'm going to pause so I don't miss too much action. If you're able to come back up here while they're in the middle of doing this with an HMG team, and they try to retreat, they're going to retreat back across your path. This is a no path right here. So really good use of barbed wire there. So sniper here, backed up by, oh yeah, Berger's Panzer Pioneers. Here we got a little bit of Panzerschreck Johann action going on. Maybe we'll see some Johann versus Joe action going on. But meanwhile, Bike moving up, and oh, here's another little detail here. Is notice that he right away got the Minesweeper upgrade from one of his Panzer Pioneers. And that's pretty good. I really like that. In fact, little side story here on that. Whenever I see somebody with early Minesweeper upgrades, I just kind of freak out a little bit. Not because there's anything incredibly broken about it, but that's something that only really good players do. And whenever I play StarCraft or something like that, there's little signs that you get early on. In StarCraft, you often are scouting each other with little units. And if you see one guy play really well with his unit very early on and avoids like all of your units and is really micro-intensive on it, it's always a good sign that they're doing something right. And late game, you're going to have something to worry about. So that's always a little sign to look for. And it looks like Panzer Pioneers. Oh God, Panzerschreck Johann. No, look out, run away, sir. Oh my God, he's going to try and take the shot. Oh my God, he's risking life and limb to get the shot and then retreats. Panzerschreck Johann killing a Jeep like a baller. Just look at that. Awesome moves going on there. Once again, notice the great synergy here between riflemen and, between Volksgrenadiers and between the motorcycle. Just, you need a little bit of support for the motorcycles because they are kind of fragile, but that extra MG42 support is awesome. So, now it looks like we got a little bit from Maakay, a little bit of Bargain Volksgrenadiers coming back up trying to cap this point. Meanwhile, notice once again, Browning automatic rifles and heavy cover, even with 2 dudes left in each squad. This is 2 squads, 2 strong apiece. Really good. Until the flamethrowers come up, then they have to back out because they are behind heavy cover. Fire does extra damage to them. But we got fire on all sides. This whole map is just aflame. Check this out. This is pretty badass looking here. So, meanwhile, we've got Bargain Volksgrenadiers firing up infantry pillage. Just trying to, spreading fire all over each other, really. Again, the control here on the left is pretty weak, but they're managing to hold on to it by just distracting all over the map here. So, once again, we got another Browning automatic upgraded rifleman squad here, exchanging fire. Close combat Volks, though, are really going to do a lot of damage to them, even with every member having that green cover there. You can see that the infantry pillage is up. He has upgraded his infantry pillage to heal his units when they get kills. And now we have Leah is coming back into the action. massive, massive squad of riflemen here. In fact, I'm even just going to take a quick look around. I am actually looking at Leo right now. Four rifleman squads and 2 flamethrower squads. Big push. This is his entire army right now. Usually that can be kind of dangerous, but you know, what the hell? Let's see what happens here. So, once again, you can see this 5-lane HMG team is going to try and take advantage of this cover and just overwhelming force pouring in here. Really important to note how good Browning automatic rifles are. As long as you're willing to get rid of 60 fuel that it takes to upgrade them, a lot of casualties. So you can see right away, one squad takes the full force of that 5-lane HMG team. The other 2, plus it looks like the engineers managed to avoid being suppressed. That's pretty rad, actually. So engineers, without being suppressed, are coming in here, pouring fire onto this poor 5-lane HMG team, and everybody else with Browning automatic rifles has no problem whatsoever laying into these guys. So really interesting brute force tactic there. And look at this, his flamethrowers just continuing to punish them for being in light cover. And as soon as he takes the final casualty with 1 flamethrower left, he retreats the squad. So really good control. Second flamethrower is still ready to back up. So notice the wonderful synergy here between flamethrowers and rifleman upgrades. So you'll notice using the smoke once again, and takes out the Fatherland HMG team before he's able to get back in action here. It looks like that's the last of the construction pioneers, and everybody else takes off. So the flamethrower engineers go for their secure point now. So pretty intense action going on here. We've got Panzerschreck Johann capping the center point. Meanwhile, we've got a little bit of skirmishing going on up here. It looks like Malok3n is coming back into the action. He does have these 2 medic stations up here, which is kind of curious. I really like this first one. This second one seems way too aggressive.